Bubble is my favorite BFDI character. I really like her a lot, but I have been seeing people sometimes giving me false information that she isn't an underdog. Just doesn't make sense. Of course Bubble is an underdog. I know she did make it to 3rd place in Season 1, but she is still an underdog. Making it far into the game makes her an all-star, not a top dog. Bubble is permanently an underdog, but also because she made it to the finale, she is an all-star. In fact, she isn't just an underdog, she is the underdog. Today, I will talk about why, in my strong opinion, Bubble is not only an underdog, but the underdog of BFDI. So, as we all know, Bubble is by far the most fragile BFDI character, and she has the highest death count. Some would say that actually Ice Cube has the highest death count because in BFDI 8, Blocky did a prank, and someone did the math, and Ice Cube died over 1 million times or something. But you know what? Any of the characters could have died over 1 million times, and what counts as death is what is shown or mentioned happening in the show. So Bubble does still have the highest death count. Another thing I would like to point out is that Bubble has lost a lot of challenges. She did win before, but only 4 times. She won in BFDI 17, along with Pencil, 19, 20, and 23. Those are the only times Bubble has won a challenge. Not being up for elimination doesn't mean the character won, and a character can lose but not be up for elimination in BFDI. Bubble pops so often, and she has to start over whenever she does. And even if Bubble has almost made it to the end of a challenge, she might pop when she is so close to the finish line and she had to start all over. No other character is like that. Literally, it only takes a slight touch to kill Bubble. There is no denying that as an underdog. The definition of an underdog is a competitor who has a harder time succeeding than most competitors. Bubble definitely has a harder time succeeding since she could pop from anything. She has to be more careful. Also, Bubble is one of the most socially strong characters in BFDI. It is entirely normal for underdogs to be socially strong. Because underdogs are less powerful, they often have to have friendships to help them. And if Bubble is the underdog, then of course she will be so popular with fans. Voters love to root for the underdogs. And since BFDI is a viewer voting competition, underdogs are more likely to win than they would have been if it was based on how well they did in challenges. Some people argue that Bubble can't be an underdog because she placed 3rd in Season 1 and was often well liked by viewers. That's true. However, being successful doesn't automatically prevent someone from being an underdog. An underdog is someone who faces greater obstacles than others, and Bubble's extreme fragility creates obstacles that most contestants never have to deal with. So, Bubble is best described as an underdog. Top dogs are the strongest contestants who are more likely to win challenges. Underdogs are the contestants who struggle with winning challenges more than other contestants. All-stars are contestants who have made it far in the game, and the champion is the winner. So now, I am going to talk about Bubble's competition history. She has competed in 2 seasons, BFDI and BFB. Here is how Bubble did in Season 1. Take Plunge. Bubble got 19th place in the very first episode of BFDI. She was coming close to making it, but Pin accidentally popped her, so she went all the way back to 19th place. Flower was in 20th place because she did not compete at all in this challenge. Barriers and pitfalls. When Bubble was first seen in this episode, she was talking about how she was really afraid that she will be popped, but now she doesn't think she will be popped. And then suddenly, pop! They do an obstacle course in this episode. And Bubble was mostly sticking with her alliance, and I have to mention this part where Bubble somehow didn't pop from this thing. The balls helped her get out, but then Pencil got dulled. And then, when they are on the chairlift, Rocky fell through and they all fell into the failure waiting room. Are you smarter than a snowball? This is an IQ test episode. Pencil and Match thought that Bubble was so dumb that she couldn't count to 3, but she actually popped before she got to 3, and they ripped up her test because they knew she would fail. Sweet Tooth. In this episode, the Alliance decided to buy Leafy's cake instead of making their own cake, and Match and Pencil still thought that Bubble was so dumb that she can't count to 3, and Bubble tried to prove to them that she can, but then she popped before she could get to 3, again, and she was popped by a simple strawberry. Later in this episode, Bubble finally counted to 3 without popping. In fact, she counted to 8. This is when Pencil realized that Bubble isn't dumb, and when they tested the cake, Announcer gave it an 8 out of 10. Flower gave it a 1 out of 10 because she stomped on it and ruined it. And the dice rolled on 4. Bridge crossing. In this episode, they have to cross a bridge. Eraser literally pushed Bubble to go on the bridge. She was making it close to the end, but then Rocky broke the bridge and it was falling apart. Bubble tried to escape before it completely collapsed, but she couldn't escape in time. I think some contestants would have been able to escape in time. Power of 3. In this episode, Bubble mostly gets help from her alliance. She only popped 1 time in this episode, and she didn't pop at all during the challenge. However, they did accidentally lock up Pencil in a safe, but when they found out, they went back to get her. There also were not very many deaths in this episode. Puzzling mysteries. What this episode is about is they get trapped in a room and have to put a puzzle together. I really do not have much to say about this. There isn't really anything to say. Cycle of life. In this episode, they do a race where they carry the next one who goes. And the last one who goes doesn't have to carry anyone. Bubble was the last one to go on her team, so she didn't have to carry anyone. And Match was carrying Bubble, but when she did, she squeezed her too hard and popped her. And the BRC Bubble Recovery Center was very far away. It got delayed. Match couldn't keep going until Bubble comes back. And when she did, Bubble finally went. But then she was popped by Rocky and had to go all the way back to her faraway recovery center. And because she didn't get back in time, the other team won. So it was Bubble who caused the team to lose. She didn't mean to. She can't stop being a bubble. She can't stop being poppable. Insectophobe's nightmare. The squishy cherries were winning, but then Bubble stopped to talk about how excited she was about winning, and when the cherries were distracted, the other team could quietly go without letting them know. So the cherries had to rush, and they eventually made it. Crybaby. In this episode, Blocky seemed to just pop Bubble when she was on the ski, and that made her not be in the skiing challenge. Lofty. Bubble lost this challenge. She was popped by Pen because her balloon felt weird. Pen tried to tighten it for her, but it ended up popping her. The reason she wasn't up for elimination is because Tennis Ball fell off before the challenge even started. And the team of the contestant who falls off first will be the team that is up for elimination. And it is the first 3 on that team who fall off who will be up for elimination. A leg up in the race. In this episode, they are racing and climbing a ladder. As you see, Bubble was climbing the ladder easily, but then she popped, so she had to start all over. Bubble was the last one who was climbing the ladder to make it up. The other 2 who got behind Bubble are Tennis Ball and Rocky. Rocky just barfed his way up, leaving Tennis Ball in last place. And in this episode, it was revealed that Bubble has only got 1 vote, but because she didn't make it very far in the last challenge, she was in the bottom 4. Don't lose your marbles. In this episode, Bubble has found herself a red ball. She was excited about it, but then Blocky popped her and stole her ball, and Blocky got the points. Bubble needed her alliance to help her find a new red ball to get out of the danger zone, and thanks to the help of her alliance, she was able to find a red ball and got out of the danger zone. Half a loaf is better than none. This is the first time Bubble actually does well in a challenge on her own. She jumped over all of the hurdles when the other ones were not doing very well, but she did end up popping on one of them, and Blocky just gave up. He was the only one who beat her in this challenge. Taco. In this episode, Bubble licked the ice cream that Pencil was holding, and she thought it tasted bad because Rocky's vomit was on it, so she fell into the vomit and popped. Bowling, now with explosions. Bubble was definitely the least successful bowler in this episode. She was the only one who was bowling who didn't knock over any pins. The only others who didn't knock down any pins are the armless ones because they couldn't bowl since they don't have arms. Reveal. In this episode, Bubble wins a challenge for the first time, but not on her own. Pencil and Bubble both won this challenge. As we see at the beginning, Leafy gives Bubble a gift, springy shoes, and those springy shoes probably made the challenge a lot easier because Bubble could go up higher if the frisbee was higher, and Bubble and Pencil teamed up. They won this challenge because they were the first ones to make 3 throws in a row. Reveal Novum. In this episode, the challenge was a staring contest, and the first time Bubble went, she won against Leafy because her springy shoes were making it hard to stare, so she took them off and threw them over a tree. Leafy was in shock, so her reflex was blinking. And the next time, Bubble was doing this against David, and David yelled, "Aw, seriously?" And that scared Bubble, so David won. Precision. This is the first time Bubble won a challenge by herself. It is a unicycle challenge. Fiery didn't really make it, and then Spongy didn't either, but Spongy was ahead of Bubble, and when Bubble came, she bounced onto Spongy on the unicycle, so she finished first, and if Spongy wasn't there, Bubble wouldn't have finished in time. Gardening Hero. In this episode, the contest is to get the other players with the laser in the spaceship. Budget cuts, and announcer sold Fiery spaceship. And Bubble still had hers, so she could win. And if Fiery still had his spaceship, Bubble wouldn't have been able to do that. The Glistening. In this episode, the contest is to jump from one side to another. We don't know how far Bubble could jump in this challenge because she turned into metal about 3 seconds after she started, and she stopped being able to jump. It's likely that she could jump to the other side since she's lightweight, but maybe only to a certain distance or the middle. Don't Pierce My Flesh. This is a volcano escape episode. We see that Fiery was the only one who could do this challenge easily because he is immune to lava. And Leafy and Bubble, I'd say they pretty much tied in this episode. Fiery was the one who made it the furthest since he is immune to lava. Spongy probably made it the least furthest, then Flower. Leafy and Bubble are in the same place. Hurtful. This is by far Bubble's biggest underdog victory. This was the last challenge of Season 1 of BFDI, and the challenge is a challenge of all the challenges combined. Bubble was definitely the least expected one to win this challenge because she could pop super easily, but she did surprisingly well in this episode. I can tell she was really trying hard, and she was trying the hardest out of everyone. The last 2 episodes of Season 1 are non-competition episodes. So now let's just get to BFB. I will not include the episodes where Bubble doesn't compete. Getting Teardrop to talk. In this episode, the contest is jumping very high, and Iance, no one in Iance jumps high enough. so they are up for elimination. Lick your way to freedom. In this episode, the contest is to lick and lick a jawbreaker to get a contestant out. The Team Iance all works together to lick, and Bubble is the first one to notice Ice Cube. 4 goes too far. The contest in this episode is to escape the Twinkle, and whatever team has the Twinkle when time is up for elimination. Bubble did get the Twinkle, and she and Matt did a staring contest with the Twinkle. They passed the Twinkle onto each other, and then when Pin saw what they were doing, they looked at Pin. He got the Twinkle. Questions answered. In this episode, the challenge is answering questions. Bubble clearly was struggling in this challenge, and the question was so hard for her to answer. But then, the question was, what is Donut's favorite season? Bubble knew the answer to this question, summer! But it wasn't working because Puffball replaced the button with a fake button. Return of the rocket ship. In this episode, they are digging underground to find emeralds, and Team Ice Cube was falling on them. Everyone in Team Iance escaped in time except for Bubble, but she somehow didn't pop when Spongy plus all of Team Ice Cube fell on her. You'd think that 100% she would pop from that, but no, she didn't somehow. And then, when Flower jumped onto there, Bubble did pop, so she didn't really get to compete in this specific challenge. X marks the spot. The challenge in this episode is to bring back X, and Ruby has been hiding the free Smart Super Van. They go into it, and they drive to find X, and the other team won in this episode. The tower. In this episode, Bubble pretty much started the contest because she was building the tower to stop Looney from being eliminated. And 4 was like, yep, this should be the challenge. And Bubble didn't do much other than that in this episode. She was just kind of dressed up as Flower, and then she was cheering them on to fight, 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 fight. How low can you grow? Bubble doesn't really do that much in this episode, but she does know a lot about aloe vera. And the challenge in this episode is to help the aloe vera grow. And Bubble pretty much just said stuff about for advice. The reason why Bubble knows so much about aloe vera is because it keeps her from popping from dryness. Taste of Space. This is probably one of the funniest, most hilarious episodes in all of BFDI because it's a bunch of cartoon logic that makes no sense. In this episode, the challenge is to stop X from being on fire, and cooling the sun was the challenge. So they tried to cool the sun. Bubble doesn't really do much in this episode, but who won is Leafy because she put the ice on X, and that is all it took for him to cool off. Let's raid the warehouse. This is the episode where they give gifts to other team members, and whatever team gives the best gift wins. When they go to Yellowface's warehouse, the half-cots are looking for a gift for Lollipop, and Bubble's idea was to get Lollipop a bunch of spoons because Lollipop hates forks. And when Lollipop received her gift, she was excited at first because she likes spoons, but then she realized they are from Yellowface's warehouse. So she now hated the spoons, and it got a 3 out of 10. And the gift they got for Lollipop was Bubble's idea. Who stole Donut's diary? In this episode, they tried to find out who stole Donut's diary, and Bubble asked 4 about it. They talked a little bit, and 4 popped Bubble, and he said that he murdered her. Passion for your face. In this episode, Bubble got eliminated since she got the least votes to be safe. So her competition history ends here. After everything I just said, we can definitely say for sure that Bubble is an underdog. So as you can tell, Bubble has definitely struggled a lot with these challenges, but she has made it despite being an underdog. Bubble isn't one of the best BFDI characters at challenges, but she is one of the best survivors at voting. Bubble is 100% without a doubt an underdog. There is literally no other way. If all it takes to make her go from winning to start all the way at the beginning is to touch her, there is no debate. She is an underdog for sure, and in my opinion, she is the underdog. I know you might disagree about that, but I think she is the underdog of BFDI. And Bubble being an underdog is a fact, but that she is the underdog is an opinion. And since Bubble is the underdog of BFDI, I think it makes so much sense that she is popular with fans because, like I said earlier, fans love to root for the underdogs, and Bubble has a permanent underdog status. A lot of other underdog characters in BFDI can grow out of their underdog status if they get stronger or better at challenges, but Bubble will always be easy to pop. She will always be the most easiest to kill. She is permanently an underdog. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss another video. I've never made a video like this before, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!